Welcome to Metal Tech Alley. I'm your host, Brad Palman. On this episode, we are at the Midas Fab Lab in Trail, BC, which allows the public to get hands-on with some high-tech equipment. A little later on in the show, we'll get a tour of the facility and learn more about Metal Tech Alley. It looks like any of the sawmills in BC, but this one little sawmill in Fruitvale is making its name for itself worldwide.
We're a 60-year-old family business. We were started by a Swedish immigrant who came to Canada in the 1920s, and through subsequent generations built and established a wood products business. Our current owner is my wife, Rebecca Weatherford, who's the founder's granddaughter. Our business is focused in wood products, as our name would suggest. We do a lot of work in the forest around the West Kootenays, the Trail, Castlegar, Nelson areas. We do forest management, so all aspects of forestry, from forest planning to harvesting operations to replanting and silviculture, and looking at all the values of the forest, environmental values, the conservation values, the economic values, and making sure we're managing the forest to benefit the forest and our communities with all those values. From a wood products background, technology is very key to the wood products industry, and I guess with all industries, but in particular, wood products has been part of our region's economic history, from the inception back in the 1800s, and has evolved as technology's evolved and allowed the companies and the mills and the operations in this area to stay current, to stay efficient, to maintain safe operations, to maintain the quality of products that are demanded by wood markets around the world. So technology has been a very key piece of not just ATCO's success, but the success of the industry over the last 100 years. We've looked at adoption of technology throughout our whole organization, from the woodland side and how we can harvest trees safer, more efficient, more environmentally friendly. So that's using different harvesting equipment and different harvesting techniques. It's using mapping and GIS technology, so we can better understand the terrain, the topography, the land. So things like LiDAR and satellite imagery and mapping, like I said. In the mill side, it's using electronics and lasers and computers to really make our systems as efficient and safe and as possible, and to take the quality level to where it needs to be. Many people drive by our mill, as you commented, and don't really understand or know what's going on, and everybody who does comes inside our mill and is amazed at the level of technology that goes on here. We've never had a sign in front of our mill here, and it's something we've talked about, but we finally gotten to the point where we feel that we really want to have a physical presence, have our name physically out front of us. So we'll be putting up a sign, and there's a scale model of it here. But we looked at wanting to use technology and employ technology. So there's kind of two key areas that we're doing that. One locally is Midas. So the letters you can see we're having cut at Midas. And what we wanted to do was have our sign out of wood, but more specifically out of the type of wood that we use and support. So the whole sign is going to be made out of plywood, and the letters and figures and stuff will be cut at the Midas Lab. Actually, they're being cut, I think, this week, and will be mounted to the sign. The other technology is actually the large pieces at the back are a new type of plywood product, new type of panel product that's being developed by one of our customers called a mass plywood panel, and it's basically a piece of plywood on steroids. So our back piece is a piece of plywood that's 10 feet tall, 24 feet long, and 4 inches thick. So It's a giant one piece of plywood that will form the back of our new sign. So we're quite excited to be able to utilize technologies, like I said, both with the capabilities of Midas here and then capabilities of our customers to bring those together and reflect in our sign what ATCO is about, which is wood and the adoption of technology. No, it's something I've heard about, and certainly in the industry we've heard often that forestry is a sunset industry and it's dying, and we need to get onto new technology and bring high tech, and I would make the argument and our company be the proof that we are the adoption of the latest and greatest technology in a very historic industry that's been the backbone of our region and our province for a long time. Forestry is not a dying industry. We have very healthy, well-managed, sustainable forest in our region. We're lucky we've got some great forestry operators in the West Kootenays who've been here for decades, if not centuries in many cases. We're living and working here, so the care of the forest is top of everybody's mind and whatnot. We're harvesting trees that our previous generations were replanting. So it's a very sustainable industry, and especially in this region, we have such a great forest and diverse forest. So we have plenty of healthy forests to sustain our business going forward. What I see in the future, though, is continuing to adopt and utilize new technologies to make better use of our forest resource. Forest utilization is something that's near and dear to our hearts, and we look at ourselves as stewards of the forest. So we're privileged enough to be looking after the region's forest. So we want to do the best job we can. And for us, that means not just doing the right things on the ground in the forest, but also putting every piece of the tree that we harvest to its highest and best use.
If you've noticed a boom in technologies coming to the region, there's a reason why. Metal Tech Alley has been attracting IoT companies to the area.
A number of technology companies have been popping up in the Trail area. Metal Tech Alley has been working hard to promote the region to those types of businesses and showcasing what we have to offer.
Well, Metal Tech Alley is a brand new regional economic development marketing strategy, a new way to tell the story from our region and tell it in an exciting, unique opportunity to highlight some of our advantages of living and working and playing in our region. So we created this Metal Tech Alley strategy all around our expertise in the metals. That's nothing new to anybody outside of the region, with the the advantage of having Tech Metals located in our region. We have some of the best expertise in the metallurgical sciences arena, and of course the way technology has allowed remote workers and entrepreneurs to be able to work and play at the same time nowadays. With technologies allowed us to do those things, and we have a very skilled technology cluster of experts in our region, and we wanted to capture that somehow in a unique story.
The strategy has been in place for a little over a year now, and you don't have to look far to see that the campaign is making an impact.
So we're into our first year now, and we've just had some incredible successes. We are fortunate to raise some money to help us market and position Metal Tech Alley on a global scale. So fortunately, thanks to the Rural Dividend Fund, the BC Rural Dividend Fund, we received a significant grant to help us market the area as well as the Metal Tech Alley brand and the companies that are in Metal Tech Alley and the unique things that they're doing.
Metal Tech Alley had a tough job ahead of them, marketing a small region in BC to a global audience, but the beauty and nature of the area made the task that much more simple.
Well, certainly this initiative has raised the bar in terms of interest for technology companies and technology workers to consider the Metal Tech Alley area. We've had some fantastic success in some new technology companies relocating to the region. It's an exciting time, and it was really the impetus of getting really noticed and a way to brand and market the area that we can compete on a global scale in the technology arena. And so we're very, very proud and fortunate to have entrepreneurs like Brian Fry and Pilar Portela from the I4C Innovation Center, who took a big chance in investing and creating a brand new facility and a brand new way to think about how technology can support either resource-based economy businesses or new technology businesses. So super exciting time, and with them they've been fortunate to attract some incredibly talented technology workers. We also are fortunate to have some unique technology businesses around blockchain, around sensor development, drone development, and all of that ties into the Innovation Center and their goal to be global players in the IoT, or the Industrial Internet of Things arena, and having access to talent like what exists here in Metal Tech Alley has really risen the bar and provided them with the basis to be able to go out and do that.
While the team is seeing results after only a year, they don't plan on stopping anytime soon.
Well, the purpose and the goal of Metal Tech Alley, it's a long-term economic development play. This isn't something that's going to happen overnight in a project work and then you stamp and say, oh, that was easy, and off you go on to the next thing. That's not what Metal Tech Alley. What Metal Tech Alley is a long-term economic development play. What we're hoping is that all of our experts in the metals and technology sectors, including the new Midas Digital Fabrication Lab and the training at Selkirk College around digital industries, that we're all together working to promote our region as a cluster of metals and technology, and then hopefully like-minded attracts like-minded. People are going to start to say, hey, you're doing something unique and innovative in the metals or advanced materials, you need to get to Metal Tech Alley. These guys have got it happening. They have got it covered. They've got the expertise and the talent, and they've got the infrastructure to support those kind of initiatives.
To learn more about what Metal Tech Alley is doing in the region for the science and technology industry, you can visit their website, metaltechalley.com.
And now we're going to take a tour of the facility. In the Fab Lab, we use a lot of technology equipment. The 3D scanner is one of the most useful tools we have in the lab. In order to generate a model of what we want to be able to build, we're able to pull in that information very quickly through 3D modeling. Being able to use a 3D scanner makes this process extremely fast. 3D printers allow us to be able to create prototypes in minutes and hours, not weeks, months, and years. Being able to deposit layer after layer of plastic allows a creation to be made step by step in the form it was imagined in. The Advanced Materials 3D printer allows us to take standard plastic models and now be able to build them into reinforceable, really commercial grade products. Being able to make sure that they can withstand the stresses and the tolls they'll be put in the industrial world allows us to be able to make things that are indestructible. The laser cutter is one of the most essential tools in our fabrication lab. Being able to cut through materials, wood, acrylic, plastics, is really quick and easy, and it makes prototyping very, very simple. The Formlabs 3D printer allows you to use liquid resin to create 3D models that would otherwise be too intricate to create any other way. 3D printing has come a long way in the past couple years, and this Formlabs 3D printer allows you to create objects that would otherwise be impossible to create any other way. In the Fab Lab, machines come in all different shapes and sizes. This small-scale CNC allows you to create the same level of detail that would be created in large metal objects, but now in simpler materials that can be used in many different processes. Metal CNCs are a way to be able to create objects out of high-density metals that would otherwise be difficult to make. Because we create the 3D designs, we can now implement these machines immediately. This is a CNC lathe for turning cylindrical materials. Behind me here, we have a 3-axis CNC mill that allows us to create anything of any shape and size in metal, wood, or plastics. Small-scale CNCs are great, and these ones really allow members to be able to learn about how to use them correctly. Whether you're working in plastic, woods, or metals, small-scale CNCs like our ShopBot allow you to create an object easily from your 3D design. So whether it's 3D printed or it's milled, you end up with a high-quality product that's easy to deliver. No matter the size of your project, Midas Lab has the proper size equipment to help you out. Whether it's our small-scale CNC or our large-scale CNC, you're able to come and take training and experience the lab yourself. Every Thursday at 6 p.m., you can come check out in one of our public tours. To find out more information, go to midaslab.ca. Employees are the biggest resource for employers, and a business in Rossland is ensuring that employees' voices are heard and that they can implement their ideas.
Thought Exchange is a network discussion platform. So we bring people together to have important conversations that allow leaders to make informed decisions and implement change that needs to happen in their community or in their organization. So people get to respond to an open-ended question. They then get to see the thoughts of all the other people in their community or organization, and they get to put stars to those thoughts and prioritize those. So at the end, you end up with a list of qualitative information about what's really important to the people that are participating, but also in a prioritized manner. So leaders are really informed about what's most important to that group of people. We're working with organizations across North America primarily, although we have a couple overseas. Our primary vertical has been K-12 education. So we work with school districts across Canada and the US. And then we also work with a number of other types of organizations, health organizations, and then various private businesses and companies. Employees are no longer just okay with the way things are, and this more traditional top-down decision-making. Employees want to have a voice in what's happening in their organization. They want to be involved. They want to be engaged in what's happening in their organization. And so our tool allows employees to feel like they, genuinely have an input, and that their input is valuable and important. And then for leaders to be making decisions in a void, to be putting out questions or looking for feedback, and in more traditional tools, not hearing anything or hearing back from the same 5 people or the same 10 people each time. Our tool really allows them to connect in a meaningful way with their employees, with community members and other stakeholders that they have in their organization. I think in some ways we face typical small town challenges. Internet connectivity, is something that's definitely a hot topic. Certainly travel here in the Kootenays, especially in the fall and winter time, becomes more of a challenge to be able to fly out and see our clients that are elsewhere, or even other other teams or departments in the company as well. So we have our office here in Rossland, we have one in Nelson, and then we have a couple out in the Lower Mainland, one in Port Moody and one in downtown Vancouver. So getting all together to have face-to-face time becomes more of a challenge in the winter, for sure. But I think in other ways, we have the best of many worlds. That we do have an office in Vancouver. If we have some, we need a hub space to either bring clients into, or investors, that kind of thing, we can easily be in Vancouver and have space there. But we also work very well here in Rossland. We've actually got 3 little offices. We have more of a campus feel here in Rossland, and people work from home as well as coming into the office, so they have options, and that's really important. Important to our employees, important to us as a company, so they can do that in Vancouver as well. But I think Rossland and the Kootenays in general, I think, actually offer a lot for our employees and for our company. We feel really passionately that we are changing the face of organizations, that we are allowing, as I mentioned, allowing leaders and employees and community members to really be involved in the things that are important to them. There's really no vertical or area or organization that couldn't benefit from using us. And so we continue to look for ways to empower our clients to use the tool in ways that we haven't even yet imagined.
Well, that's it for this episode. On our next episode, learn about how one company is taking engineering and design into the virtual world, and how KC Recycling is helping save the environment.